Jesus, just at the end there, says, don't let anybody know that I am the Christ at this moment in time. It wasn't his time to die. Jesus wasn't meant to be stoned with stones. And if the disciples go and say, this is the Christ, the Messiah, this is the promised Messiah, the one who is going to be sent at the end time to deliver Israel. And they were just getting crowns to put on Jesus. They were trying to make him, in John chapter 6, they were trying to make Jesus king at that point. But Jesus was coming into this world not to be a king to rule and to deliver from the Romans. He was coming into the world to save sinners, and he was to die on the cross for all the world so that they would get brought back to God from their sins. And Apostle Paul goes into this in Romans and Ephesians, if you like, the first church and that. And he says about the Jews and the Greeks were like two different. You were aliens from the Commonwealth of Israel. He says you were away from the covenants of God, from the Ten Commandments. You didn't have the Ten Commandments. You didn't have the law and the prophets. He said you were aliens from this to the Jews and to the Greeks. He's saying to the Greeks, you see, this is what they were. They had the light of nature to follow, which is good, because in Romans chapter 1 to chapter 3, the light of nature teaches that we should follow God. We should, you look in at the animals, how they look after each other. They care for each other. The birds, how they will bring the little babies into the nests and bring them up and nurture them. And it's a teaching there is a teaching that shows that from nature that God is in control, that God is showing us the way to follow him, although it doesn't show about Christ. This is what Jesus says. Who do men say that I am? He says that some men say you're like John the Baptist or Jeremiah, come back. This is the weeping prophet. This is Jeremiah. This is some other. But Jesus says to them, but who do you say that I am? And he says, thou art the Christ. Peter says, thou art the Christ. This is the HaMashiach from the promise from the Old Testament. This is the Messiah. This is the King coming from David, from the line of David. This is the great Savior of the whole world. This is the Christ. And he comes healing. Jesus comes healing. And people are getting saved, and people are turning back to God and repenting from their sins because they're hearing the message from the Old Testament and it's backed up with the power of God. You're seeing the dead raised, seeing the sick being brought back. And this is the revelation, which is God is showing them that this is Jesus, this is the Christ. Who can do these signs and wonders unless they're the Christ?